Hello everyone and welcome to the Lift You Up show. You're with Three Crow Shaman.
Oh, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up,
Wow, it's great to be back. It's great to be here in front of the microphone. I was here a few days ago, had an amazing Zoom interview with Michelle Papik-Fong to do with the Believe in Power Heal. That's coming up in 6 weeks' time. It's under 6 weeks. At the end of August, being held at Inspiration Healing, Sunshine Coast, Queensland. So don't miss out on that one. Beautiful, beautiful work that gets done. What are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about fear. Do I still show fear? Fuck no. Do I still feel fear? Yes, I still feel it initially. What I do with that is the difference that it makes. Now, I was prompted to go into this topic, and it's a very diverse topic, and it's a very complicated topic. But so many people are showing it. I was just at the shops, wanting to go into the shop. And as I'm walking into the door, I realise there's people standing outside the shop. And I'm asking them, do you need to go in? And they go, yes. And it's like, you can have 4 people in this shop. It's only a small little shop. But you can have 4 people in. That they rushed in then because they thought I was going to beat them to the counter. But this is what's prompted the fear. Why the hell were they standing outside? They were wearing masks. I mean, they were prepared to be walking around in the big Coles and the big Woolies and rubbing shoulders with people in the aisles. I mean, they didn't sidestep anyone in those aisles, which are only, I think they're only 2 metres apart in the space. So, one can go one way, one can go the other way. So they're happy to do that. But a smaller little space, which was still wider than the aisles, they're not prepared to stand in there and wait their turn, waiting outside where people have to rub up against them and walk past them. What is this fear about? What are they so frightened of? Now, the past 18 months has intensified this fear for a lot of people, and for a lot of other people, they've faced their challenges, they've done their research, they've made their own free choice from the information that they have. Whether they're right or wrong, that's their own free choice. However, when it's actually creating an emotion or a reaction such as fear, well, now we have a problem. We have a problem because there's not many people that when they're triggered with fear that they don't go into a reaction or action, cause and effect. And this escalates, this intensifies, and this is what the show's about for this week.
The Happy Snack Company is passionate about healthier snacking and built on a belief that tasty snacks can also be good for you. Giving people a better way to snack inspires us every day to create contemporary, interesting flavours. Try our range of roasted chickpeas or fava beans because there's nothing boring about these. So overhaul your snack stash and give Happy Snacks a try. And find out what's behind the world's #1 whole food pulse snack brand, the Happy Snack Company.
So I was just saying, just moments before the ad break, do I still show fear? No, I don't. But do I still feel the fear? Do I still feel that initial fear in the part of my body? Yes, I do. Now, what were some of my fears that had control of me in the past? Well, it was the fear of losing one of my sons. There's nothing worse than having that feeling of outliving one of your children, and especially when they put themselves in a predicament. Now, I'm very fortunate. I've got 3 beautiful sons. The oldest, well, he's just been going through some drug issues and stuff like that. Well, if that had happened 10 years ago, the fear I would have felt and my reactions were far greater and more intensified than what I actually do now. Now, I've had the experience of my son actually reaching out for help and actually pulled out some drugs and did it in front of me. Now, I didn't react and I didn't go off rant and rave. I was talking to him. What's the drug you got? What are you doing? What are you taking it for? And I'm talking to him about it. Now, other things happen from that. But fear of losing, love, fear of losing something, it's a good trigger point. Good trigger point for other emotions to get involved. When you have that first initial fear. The other thing that I had a major fear of was back in 9/11 when I saw those buildings, the 9/11 World Trade Centers, and I saw the plane hitting it on the news. It was night time and I'm watching it. So I had a fear of terrorism, and the following day I went to the Army Reserves. I wanted to join up. Certain things happened after that time, and I didn't join the Army Reserves, but I could see other people's reactions, and then seeing how they flip sides when it suits them. And this is where I started to get my understanding of what the hell is going on. What's going on? So fears of lies, destroying my life, my character, my reputation. That was another one that it would send me into action and reaction. And I had to learn over these years that when I first get that initial fear feeling is I've got to pull it up. I pull it up, I stop. Why am I feeling this fear? If I keep feeling the fear, other emotions are going to get involved. What do I do then? I have people that love me for who I am and what I represent. There are people out there that despise me, hate me or resent me for what I represent. That is their freedom of choice. That is their own choice. But what I won't accept is their misconceptions of who I am, as it challenges who they are. I have some great analogies of people making choices against me for their own decisions and their own fears. A classic is, I still like to have a drink. I still love to have a drink. And I'm one of these people that I can have a drink, I get merry. My personality doesn't change. I don't become violent. I don't become aggressive. And we've all witnessed those certain people that do, that their personality changes and they can't handle the drink. Now, why should I be judged by those people because I'm having a drink? They get out of hand and I don't. But they push the blame on me that it's my fault because I drank. And from me having a drink, is that encouraging them? You are responsible for your own actions. You're responsible for that. So let's get into some more finer detail. Fear is a great way for it to start some other emotions off. So action or reaction, you get in that fight or flight mode. So if you're going into flight mode, the first thing you want to do is run away. So you go into the other side of it where you want to fight, and you go into rage, vengeance, vindictiveness, stress, anxieties. That continues. That'll intensify. So if you go into vengeance or vindictiveness because of what you're actually fearing, you've now gone into a cause. So you're going into action. So you start having vengeance and vindictiveness against a person, and all you want to do is destroy them from your own fear. Well, that escalates even further. What are you going to do then when this person decides to fight back? And they're fighting back on their own truth. Their own truth is the fear that you had, the fear that you feel, and you're allowing the other emotions to get mixed into it. Having fear, it will constrain you. Having fear, it is very possible that it will destroy you. Fear those that install the fear within you. Fear them. So for the people that go through sexual abuse and physical abuse from their partners, and I'm not going to say, that a woman's on that side of things, because it happens both ways. Both men and women can face these abuses. Sure, there is a higher percentage, but at the end of the day, when you have a look at the games that people play, it becomes an equal battlefield. Now, if you're a recipient of someone standing over the top of you and you're showing fear, that will escalate. Now, who's responsible for the fear? It's not the person that's standing over the top of you. It's allowing you to happen. It's you allowing it to happen. That's the problem. And that's where we've been in these past 18 months with what's going on. We have the media, we have politicians, and we have scientists and doctors installing fear into people. Now, the other side of that coin is there's truth out there that's of other people's choices to reveal what their truth is, but that's being censored. It's being blocked. We have scientists and doctors out there fighting on the other side. Now, we don't have the option to actually turn the TV off for everyone. We don't have the option of being a multinational search engine where we can delete people's profiles, that we can delete what they're commenting on because we don't agree with it. So that's them having fear. They're installing fear, and they have fear of the truth coming out. It doesn't get much obvious than that. So we have to make a choice. Are we going to fight or are we going to flight? All right. Now, from that is what way to go. I mean, you can take off and you can have your flight. Be ready to fight another day. But if you're never ever going to fight, now what is the fight? The fight is within you. Everything is within you. Everything. So when I say the fight is within you, that's what you're facing, what you're prepared to actually start working on. Are you prepared to actually look deep within and look at your own actions and reactions and what you do to other people from your own fear? Everything is within. Everything comes back from within you, and you're allowing stuff that is external to you that you have no power over, you have no control over, but you allow that to start you off with fear, and then you react to that, or you go into action mode with that. So it comes back to within you. Are you prepared to fight for yourself, fight for your own survival, fight for your own growth, fight for you to evolve? Are you prepared to fight for that? Because that's where the fight actually lies, within you. Can you stop showing fear? Can you stop reacting from that fear? Can you stop harming another person from feeling fear? Can you stop from destroying someone's life from your own fear? Can you stop? Can you stop? Can you actually stop? That's your first lesson. Can you stop at being triggered into fear? Can you stop it there? This is going to be hard for you to do if you haven't learnt anything to stop anything that you have power over in your life, and you're allowing everything external, other people having influence over you and having control over your life. You've never experienced how to stop it because you can't even stop yourself. So to get your life back, you have to learn how to stop it right there at that moment of time, and come back within yourself to find out why you have fear. Can you do that? I can, and people around me can, because I've been teaching them how to do it. Plus they've been learning from all different other readings and books and modalities and stuff they watch to enforce what I teach. Can you stop? Having control of your emotions, having control of the triggers. You're never going to get to a point where you stop them, but you're going to subdue them. You're going to lessen them. How easy it is to be in a relationship and your partner comes home, and because of the mood they're in, it affects you as soon as they walk in the house because of the energy they're carrying, the energy that they're talking about, the way their mannerisms are, the way their personality is. They come in and they're just slouching the couch and, actually going into that lazy mode that you resent so much. Well, all of a sudden you're getting triggered with an emotion. What are you going to do about it? So the communication is a good way with couples and relationships for them to, talk things out. Well, this is what you have to do with yourself. When you've got fear and it's triggering you, and you're going into emotions, well, this is where you need to pull yourself up and communicate with yourself. Communicate coming back in within. Now, the first rule of thumb that I do is, why am I feeling this way? It doesn't take long for me to bring it up, for me to work out, why do I feel like this? Now what am I going to do about it? Because I don't like feeling like this. Here I am trying to be a person to assist and help other people to heal. And if I'm not healing myself, who am I to help other people? So we must be conscious of what we're actually doing and what we're feeling. You know, it's so easy to go in the throwing shit at other people. Well, throw shit back at yourself and work out why you're feeling like you are. So many don't want to look at themselves because it challenges them. It challenges their education system, it challenges their beliefs, it challenges who they actually think they are. So too often I've seen people that are in positions of power or positions that other people look up at as their mentors because, you know, the person has reached a higher level of what that person is trying to do. What I've actually witnessed is those people aren't in control of their emotions, that they're very judgmental, they ridicule other people, and they're not actually helping people at all. So how do we change? How do we change our own behaviours? How do we change with what's happening for us? Now, my journey has been a difficult one. I mean, I was a ratbagger when I was younger. Goodness gracious, born over in Perth, WA. Some of the feelings and emotions I've gone through, my childhood years, teenage years, and in my 20s, there's a lot I can look back at now of certain things that did happen which have helped me to become the person I am today. But the last decade is where I had no other choice. I had to change because the way I was going wasn't going to end up good. And the changes I made was to start looking at myself. All right, I reacted, and the outcome of me reacting has made it worse. So not only do I have to apologise, I need to work out to make sure this doesn't happen again, because the person that I'm with, I want to continue to be with. With that, here I was looking at myself at my own actions, and I was pulling myself up from reacting or acting because of the way I was triggered and the emotions I was feeling. And then pretty soon I saw, hang on, this is one-sided. So I'm still being attacked. I'm still being triggered. I'm pulling it up. This person that I want to be with is still doing it towards me to get me to do it. So you start to see more clearly. You start to get the clarity. Now, what are you going to do with that information that you just worked out? So you communicate this. You have an open communication, open discussion. Now, I have sat there and allowed a person to criticise me for everything that makes them feel the way they do for a whole 2 hours without interrupting, listening to every word they said. I wasn't being distracted, and then it was my turn to reply. Now, within the first 2 minutes, I was interrupted. I was interrupted again. So then I had to take control of the situation. I took control. That I had to explain, I've sat here for 2 hours and I've listened to you without interrupting. I've listened to your opinion. I've listened to you degrade me. And now it's my turn to talk about how I feel and the way I see it. And all you're doing is interjecting and arguing the point. Again, that's a one-sided. It's one-sided. So, hence to say, a lot of friendships and relationships I've had, and ones that I thought were going to last a long time, didn't last at all. It comes to the point where you've got to choose what you don't want in your life. It's easy to say, I want you in my life, but how much shit are you going to put up with to continue to have that person in your life, even if it's a friend, that if you choose not to have certain attributes in your life, then you have the choice and you get the principle of clearing out the baggage, clearing out the deadwood, clearing out the emotions that aren't working for you. So the next part of this is, you know, with psychology and psychiatry and the mental health part, they talk about the chemicals, the ones that are made, and the amygdala. Sometimes I can't even say that correctly. Now, you're only going to hear my version of it being a shaman and with what I deal with. Now, everything is energy as far as I'm concerned. Everything is energy. Now, when you look at that, you have a nervous system and you have signals, pulses that going down, down through your spine, through your nervous system, and signals are going to come back. Well, that's an energy, isn't it? It's a pulse. It's an energy. So when you acknowledge that, whenever you're going into this fight or flight mode, certain reactions happen within the body, doesn't it? You'll start to shake, or you'll start to feel sick in the stomach, or you'll start to go red and you'll start vibrating, and you're ready to blow like a kettle. So it's energy. It's energy. So when I'm assisting someone to overcome their trigger point, is I'm looking at the energy behind it. What energy can I identify with it? So we have the scenario, we have the story of what triggered them. But it's that initial trigger, that energy is what we're looking at. So I'm not looking for a chemical imbalance in the brain, I'm looking for the energy. So behind that energy, if it doesn't actually belong to the body, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna pull it out. So that's me assisting someone. I'll go into more details as it goes on, so I can explain my work, but I don't want to scare everyone off at the moment. I mean, some of you are already probably looking up, what does a shaman actually mean? Well, I don't do the ayahuasca, and I don't do peyotes, and I don't do sweat lodges. However, I work in the spirit world. I'm very well connected to my own spirit. I've even been criticised over that, of people stating that you can't have a communication with your spirit. Well, what a load of crap. Prove me wrong and prove all my students wrong. Because everyone's life that gets connected with their own energy, their true essence, their true core, become better people. It's still a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But with better understanding, you keep moving forward. So we're going to look at fear, okay? Because that initial phase of fear, when it starts, it starts with energy behind it. And with that energy is what you're going to do. Are you going to fight or are you going to flight? So are you going to start reacting, or other emotions going to get involved? So we want to stop. We want to stop. As soon as you get that initial feeling of fear, we need to woo up. We need to stop. We need to breathe. Breathing is very important. It's been very important throughout all our journey, So breathe. It gives you time to pause. Don't say a word. Don't do anything. Just breathe. So when you're breathing, the other part you can put over the top of this is count. Breathe in and count 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath, counting 1, 2, 3. Exhale, breathing 1, 2, 3. And as you're counting, it's pretty hard to do two things at once, because if you're breathing and you're counting, well, you definitely can't throw a punch and you can't run. So you've halted, you've stopped that fight or flight. So we have to go to the next phase once you've been doing your breathing, is then to have a look at what started me to fear. So I saw that, and that's when I felt that. So seeing that, now, is it a cycle of similarity of something you've witnessed before where you have fallen into fear and reacted to it? Because that's another trigger point. You've had the flashback. But if it's genuinely new, something new that's happened, you need to identify that. So you've never experienced this before, but you showed fear. So all of a sudden you getting carjacked and there's a gun in your face. That's a general new reason to feel fear, unless it's happened to you before, which, there are people that cycles of similarity continue. But let's take this, that this has happened to you, it's new. That someone is wanting to steal your car, they've got a gun, they're pointing it at your face. That's fear. What are you going to do with that fear? Are you going to fight? Well, it's recommended you don't, because they've got a gun. Are you going to flight? Are you going to put your foot down and drive away? Well, he could pull the trigger. So what do? You listen to the instructions. It says get out of the car. You get out of the car. He hops in the car and drives away with it. The fear's over. Now it's gone into anger. Motherfucker just stole my car. I'll edit that part out, or maybe I won't, I don't know. But, that mongrel just stole my car. So you go into the rage. Get your phone. Oh, shit, the phone's in the car. But anyway, you call the police. You keep going on through all the emotions. But it's a new fear, fear you're facing. Now, having someone point a gun at your head, well, you've got that fear of death, haven't you? That's why that fear's come in, because guns are associated with death. It's pointing at you. It's the end of your life if he pulls the trigger, or a great wounding. So even when that's happened to you, you have those quick responses of what you can do. You fight or flight, or just see which way it's going to go for them. So if you look at it that everything has alternate possibilities, you can always look at it retrospective after it's happened. Oh, if I had done this, if I had done that. No, have a look at what you're doing at the time. There's nothing stopping you when a guy's tapped on your window with a gun, he's pointing at you, get out of the car, that you go, 2, 3, hold your breath, 1, 2, 3, hold it out. And this guy's going, oh, hang on, he's nervous. It's all right, mate, if you get out of the car, just need your car. There's a good possibility of what he sees is going to change his behaviour as well. Because he's expecting for you to either fight or flight, but he wants the car. He has a reason why he wants the car. Either he's stealing it to sell it, or he's stealing it to get away. Okay? They're the two reasons why someone is hijacking your car. They're a criminal. They do it for a life, for money, that they steal cars. They sell the cars. Or they need to get somewhere else pretty quick, so they need your car. So if people are acting differently towards them, they have to act differently. So you're not a threat. You're not driving off in the car, but he sees you're nervous. So he just wants you out of the car. You're breathing. Come on, mate. Get out. No one gets hurt. Your car won't be damaged. You got insurance? Good. All right, see ya. It can happen anyways. We have to change the way we do things. We have to change the way we look at it. We have to change. We have to evolve. We have to move forward. Too many times you've handled it the wrong way, and it's not working. It's not working. And if you put your rose-coloured glasses on and you make it all pretty, people see from the outside that it's not pretty underneath. So you have to change what you're doing. And, who doesn't want to be a better person? Who doesn't want better people around them? Well, positive attracts positive energy. So if you change, if you're willing to make the changes will happen around you too.
Overhaul your snack stash and give Happy Snacks a try. And find out what's behind the world's #1 whole food pulse snack brand, the Happy Snack Company.
One of our major sponsors there is a Happy Snack Food Company in all major retailers in the health food aisle. So back on the track about fear. So on my personal level is I know what fear feels like. I know that I've still got those initial trigger points. And who wouldn't? I have children. So, but what do I do with it? What do I do when that's happening? Well, the worst thing I can do is go into a reaction. Because with that reaction, I'm then inflicting harm upon someone else. So what do? I go within. I see what's within me, what's causing it. And it's never going to stop. This is never going to stop. I mean, the only way it's going to stop, if you're prepared to turn into a Buddhist monk and sit up on top of an icy cold mountain and sit there all by yourself, then there's that possibility you're never ever going to feel that trigger of fear and the reactions and actions, and it's because there's no one else around you But are you going to get the fear of cold? The possibilities are endless, aren't they, when you look at it like that? But it's what you do with that fear. It's what you're going to do with it. Whether you're going to identify it, what caused you to fear it. So when we look at fear of drowning, and people are afraid of water, even though they haven't drowned. Well, with my work, we can find usually an incident, a cycle similarity, which has caused that for them. But that's a whole different show when we'll cover that. So fear of heights. How does someone become a fear of heights if they've never been up high? There is so much in this world that can be explained in an energetic sense, but fear in itself is that initial trigger of energy to get you to either fight or to either flight. There's another option. Stop. Why? Why did I get triggered with that fear? So I've explained to you about the breathing, how important that is. I've explained to you about stopping, pausing, finding out where it's coming from. Now, if you're unable to do that, there's plenty of people out there that can help you. One good analogy I try to tell people, if you can't find the cause, it's because you're looking in the wrong direction. There's so many of you out there that you blame someone for a particular trait that you have, that it's their fault. I can't trust anyone because that person broke my trust. I have these issues because of my upbringing as a child, it's my mother's fault. Well, if you've got that excuse, then why aren't you fucking healed? Why haven't you healed it? It's because you're blaming someone and that's not the cause. You cannot stop the festering until you pull the splinter out. So if you're still festering from something that happened in your childhood, well, guess what? You're blaming the wrong person because it's still festering. The splinter is still there, and all you've done is come with the first outcome you could find, that it's my mum's fault for the way I am. But it's not your mum's fault, because if it was your mum's fault, you identifying it would have pulled the splinter out and all would have been forgiven, forgotten, and you wouldn't be ranting and raving on about it. So many of you will find the easiest way out and use that as the reason, the excuse, the blame. Well, it's not going to work. If it's still festering and you're still being triggered, you haven't found the splinter. Find the splinter and the wound will heal. Prove me wrong. So I'm going to end the show there, and thank you for joining me. It's been a bit of a serious show, this one, with the about the fear, but I feel that with what we've been going through for the past 18 months, everything has escalated, everything is intensified. I've watched good friends fall apart over difference of opinions. I've seen families fall apart through difference of opinions, and behind that is fear. You fear of you being challenged, that what you've learnt and what you feel is true is being challenged. Who's right, who's wrong, it doesn't matter. But what we are looking at is the fear, and it's destroying communication, it's destroying friendships, it's destroying relationships. Come on, people, wake up, step up.
Oh, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up, I wanna lift you up, I'm gonna lift you up, oh.